So I think this goes over 2 years back. So at the end of the day, there's a lot of chemistry within this team, but maybe the achievements are not quite there just yet. I feel PARIVISION has a more of that taste of what it is like to play in Tier 2. They have that experience on their belts. They even have big names who played at majors. So, gotta wait and see what that experience is gonna be doing for PARIVISION. They're gonna be kicking things off here on T side on their own map pick.
Yeah, both of these teams are they're pretty sometimes pretty weak on these pistols, below 50% win rate for both of them on this map. So this will be a nice little one for them to pick up here. Bondig a little bit of a spam through the smoke there. Flashes Jackie over. Unfortunately, not quite able to find anything. A little bit of information does get away with his life, but this catwalk completely swarmed down. This A side, it's about to get crunched on, but there are a lot of players here in defending, and actually Tension able to cut off any of the potential rotates through mid to stop this being anything more than a one-dimensional attack.
Alright, flash into CT, a little bit of extra space established, but at the same time, FAVBET is certainly considering that a possibility will smoke off the doors here. But look at this pressure, they're going to be pushing that smoke and overwhelming the CTs right up on the site. And one kill, and that's all they will get. And time will start to tick. The bomb has been planted. You have a man disadvantage now. And it's not quite looking favourable. There's no kid on board.
No, there's a single flash to try get them through this choke point. But even then, they've got an idea of where Travis is, but they've got to deal with the others. And look at that. Immediately, they have to back off here. Tapping away, and Marek still can't find the pick that they need to break the stalemate. Tapping away and not finding anything. And now every second it gets more hopeless. Bondig's found one, but is not even going to be allowed anything further. And it's going to be a pistol round taken by PARIVISION.
Yeah, I really, I thought initially, the delay that FAVBET put in, I was wondering how PARIVISION was going to deal with that, because sometimes we see them going aggressive, sometimes we see them being patient, but therefore getting stalled and then being a bit indecisive. So I like that they just went for it, full on confidence and overwhelmed FAVBET with that. So ultimately, that was their win condition. And it paid off. So let's wait and see how they're going to be dealing with this. There's some upgraded pistols, a Scout as well, in fact. So is a force bite coming through. And
I love that James got tagged with the USP from through a smoke.
Oh, well,
all the way in top mid.
Second tag there, right through the door with a dig. So a little chip damage, but is it going to be scaring PARIVISION? Well, maybe not. We're going to be running out. Same way as last round. Smash making a bit of noise, which has been noted. Jim will sit at the other side, just being patient.
I like that they're leaving Jane, but they're not even really leaving him. He's part of the smoke with the HE to try to get a little bit more information, just really hold them off from this retake. But I think the call to save already been made. Too much investment here, and I don't know about you, I've been seeing the CZ appear a lot more recently, and what are your thoughts on that?
I used to love the CZ a lot, actually. But I think right now in CS2, I think it's in an okay spot. I still, if you're going to be going for a Force, I would probably still afford or want to go for like a Deagle, maybe a P250, and then get some util beside it. But, to each their own preferences, and if you really just grind out that CZ, and if that's your thing, then you got to stick with it, because then you play the best.
Yeah, and an odd round there, all 10 players still being alive at the end of the round. Money is going to be looking in a not particularly nice place here for FAVBET. They're going to be able to buy a little bit more utility, potentially, to invest into this. We can see some more frag grenades coming out here, but they are not setting themselves up particularly nicely for the long run. And PARIVISION, this is majorly a bonus for them. They lose any weapons here, they're going to be able to rebuy them. Tension is pushing through the smoke, jumps up, tries to get a hit on through. And Marek's caught off guard a little bit, trying to push up close, does find one with the P250, and they're trying to trade, but actually jumping all out of the smoke. That's going to be a retrieved weapon as well. Oh, Dinks' teammate with the CZ. Why don't you?
Luckily, Smash had some head armor. Because otherwise that would have probably been finito if that wasn't the case. Now, James doesn't like to sit still. Oh, I thought he was gonna go and push there for a second, but maybe patience is gonna be key, but the time will tick. CTs are present, wanting to get through, but so far he deals with it very, very nicely. Both giving him pretty much individual fights, so it's relatively easy for Jam there to pick both of them up. And well, he still has a faint feeling of where that last player is going to be at.
They're not going to want to let him take this AK into the next round either, but the issue is this smoke, whilst it protects them, it's also keeping on Dick safe. The flash is impeccable, they run around the corner, drive-by shooting to steal that AK back away, and I like what they did at the start of the round here, because they knew they had a very unfavorable situation. So they stack long, knowing that somebody is likely to push this. And if they can swarm and overwhelm, they're going to get at least one weapon, and they can use that as the hero rifle, hero SMG to try spiral something further. And actually, it does get a little bit scary. They have the player advantage for the first half of that round. But now we see, finally, we have them able to buy up these weapons. We've got tension on that AWP. I'm curious to see how we're going to see the AWP head-to-head battle here. Jame, of course, the man, the myth, the legend, known for it, has his own. And there's not going to be any fight in mid just yet, and James going to be posting that AWP up over towards B.
I mean, so far could be a good setup for a potential split. To make a little noise, I'm molly over towards short just to maybe keep that attention, direct some util. But 4 men down this hallway. Oh, that's a lovely kill as well. Kick it with that can apply more pressure up on the CT side, but tension is still alive and kicking, hoping to get more worth, and so does Smash with a follow-up kill, and this CT holding is looking impeccable. Potential here for a first round up on the board, and tension make sure to lock it in. It's just Jame, and honestly, mate, you got an AWP in your hands. I know. I'm pretty sure what time it is.
Oh, yeah. It's Jame time once again, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, I like that he doesn't try and peek there and find that kill, knowing that there is somebody almost certainly on the right-hand side going to peek out. But I think they might go hunting for this, maybe. I don't think that Marix is going to be particularly content to let this one sit, and walking backwards into him. He goes round the corner. Marix is looking. They know where he is. He's in this area, and now Jame finds the angle that has just bought him probably the ability to save. Yeah, there we go. Nobody's close enough nearby. But what I love here, the fact that Tension gets that pick, that he's just stood out in the open, down that corridor, the fact that he manages to slip away and not get traded means he just posts back up and gets another. So quick on the flick through the push at the edge of the smoke as well. Just single-handedly finding the opening, getting away, and just applying so much pressure. And PARIVISION, I really think, could have benefited maybe from taking a step back and looking at pushing literally anywhere else. But we continue, and James going for this duel. It's a tag on to him, however, but it's through the wall, so he's going to be hobbling away from this one, looking a little bit worse for wear. I like that they're going back to what's worked for them. This push through doors, the smoke into CT, has worked really well for them. I have a feeling, however, they've conditioned FAVBET a little bit here, so they are predicting it. Kicker tanked by the Molotov, yeah.
It keeps them back for the time being. And they were first a bit more default, spread out across the map. But now a minute left on the clock, and decisions eventually will have to be made. Now, there are 2 smokes here. Flash comes through, but a spam does as well, and Kicker has been thrown off a little bit. We'll stall him. At the same time, though, PARIVISION this time, they swing right. Both players go down, and the rest of the squad is just too far isolated.
And look at this, they are retreating so far from site here. They have got Travis. I say Travis planting the bomb. Travis accidentally comes off a little bit early. We've all done that. We've all been there. And they've got Beltronic looking through tunnels now, but they've got the whole team. They pushed up into the spawn to go hunting before the bomb had even gone down. They are so incontent to let these weapons get away because they know that the economy is on a knife's edge right now. You take away this, they are not going to be able to reinvest into that orb for a while yet. Oh, Max can hear it all though, but the util, oh, it's perfect. Are they predicting Bondit here as well, however? Unfortunately, the hold here is pretty nice. I don't think they're going to want to commit too much more. Missed flash, I'm assuming.
Yeah, everyone's
but they've
just
done all
gonna
they
be
need
sitting tight. But alright, Paravision bounced back. And this time, you know, I wasn't really expecting them to hit the same side again there after that pretty awkward round, which led FAVBET to win there first. But the way they did it this time, very confidently, just pretty much out-aiming the two players there over on B. So with that, maybe a bit of a dent back in the confidence that was just about to crack up for the first time. But money hasn't run empty just yet for FAVBET. You can buy again.
Looking low on some of this util though, and that's going to be a slight problem for them. However, taking down Nota early through the smoke there, that's a lovely opening pick, but nothing really more that they can learn of this. Now they crawl on over towards B, worried that they're going to hit again, but they've left this gaping hole over towards mid, and this power vacuum is going to be swallowed up by PARIVISION. Or not. Actually, they decide to backtrack a little bit here, take their time. Util's going to come on over. Actually, I think they're trying to sell a little bit of a fake here.
Yeah, I think they want to simulate that they're going to be doing that B split again. See a nade into tunnel. But yet again, it's a lie.
Tension's watching this though.
Oh, but he's blind. And that grants a lot of space now for PARIVISION to work with. And both of them have retreated into long. One player already being there. I guess you have to just back up players in the team. Wait for the rest of the squad to arrive.
They've got no util to defend this now, however. They've just got to bunker down on site and survive wave after wave of FAVBET players.
It's not impossible.
Beltronic needs to find this kill onto the long player.
Beltronic and James are mowing them down. Tension's still there, but honestly, has to make a run for it. Oh, and James is ready for it.
Oh, he knows.
Not sure if he's going to be exiting doors, but tension is low as well. Oh, okay, well, there we go.
Beltronic, he's racing. He's trying to find him, but it's not going to happen.
No, not enough time, but still a very costly and tough round. FAVBET had a player advantage. They had util on board to make that retake happen. But, well, PARIVISION had to survive those waves, and they did.
That they did. Numbers disadvantage, no utility to speak of, but everyone finding the kills that they needed to. James going for that mid fight. He's not been awarded the chance yet. The Shark is hungry, but today is not going to be his day, not this round. Marix again, this menace causing problems over towards doors. This time just going to slip away. Beltronic given the space to work with, Marix forced back. Jackie, I love this advanced position here. It's just going to headbutt the smoke grenade. Now Tension waiting for any push in tunnels, but there hasn't particularly been much activity over towards there. Waiting for a ghost that's not even lurking, and now over towards long they head. Marik's gonna have to be the one to stem the bleeding. Teammates near enough by, so the rotates aren't gonna take long, so it's gonna have to be quick from PARIVISION here.
Oh. Actually want to sit back. Oh, but doubtful. Sees a shadow, I think. There we go. Counter flash. Oh, but it doesn't
Ooh.
matter. Beltronic just decapitates Marix. And the pressure continues. Tension burns alive. The AWP, okay, picked up by Jackie, but at this point, pretty sure he just wants to run away with that one.
I would just be looking to save here as well. You've got the AWP. Jackie, unfortunate game for him here. 0-5 at the moment. And this AWP, hopefully, Tension has been really good with it. Can be the difference maker that they need to put another round on the board. But PARIVISION, there's been so many moments. I think some of the reads from FAVBET have been really good. And I think I say their rotates. Their positioning in the early rounds has been really good. So having those players on catwalk to account for the doors pushes that have been sort of coming through here, right? But having them able to go and back up Marix, who is that early warning alarm system down long, and having them able to play off each other like that and rotate pretty quickly has been working nicely. The difficulty is that PARIVISION are running into this and just finding headshot opening after headshot opening before they can even realize what's happening. They're not dealing with the issue that is they're losing every opening duel on pure mechanics alone right now.
Yeah. And it's honestly great for the confidence as well. You know, they can keep sort of bullying around, whereas maybe a lot of other teams would have been a bit more reserved in these types of situations. But no, they go for it. And every single time, and they rely on those mechanics. It works.
Ooh, Nota playing with fire here, jump peeking it, Tension. He's been really good today, but the flash is immaculate. Nota is going to use that opportunity to push on up. Isn't even going to Molotov catwalk, is just looking to go further and deeper into this map. There's going to be Smash on the other side waiting for them. Actually, 2 Molotovs is going to force them back a little bit. But Nota, holding strong, has this pocket of space for them to work with. Beltronic out long there, takes down Marix. We talked about them being the earlier alarm system. Goes down. Tension is now going to be the one to back up. Smoke to maybe try play around here, but he's going to have to be really quick. And are they expecting him to peek it? They've got 2 sets of eyes looking this way. But actually, it's through the smoke. There's a second person backed up close. Travis has found one, but doesn't really have an opportunity to back away with that smoke now fading.
Alright. All picked up. Double up now, in fact. Which can be a bit tricky post-plant. 30 seconds now left. PARIVISION will have to make a move, and looks like that move will be being no one actively on the site. But Jake is here to catch the cross, and he will do so, and that will put a lot of pressure up on PARIVISION. Jay missing a shot. Oh, and that needed to be it. He will try to jump across. 10 seconds. It can be enough to get that bomb down, but my lord, is it going to be tense and close. Kick it will be boosted up. Here's a shot. We'll go for it, but both of them lose, and FAVBET have got another round in the bag.
Second round on the... Oh, they come off the defuse a little bit early there. But Jackie, finally, we talked about it, has been a little bit of a rough game. Didn't have any kills going into this. Picks up that AWP and decides it's my turn. But 2 AWPs, are they going to continue to run this? I'm assuming so. And maybe this is the change of pace that we need. It was getting stagnant from them. Hence why PARIVISION, they went on this 6-round tear. Well, 5-round tear. There was a little bit of a break in the middle, but they went on this tear. Double AWPs, maybe this is the firepower that you need, and it's clearly the confidence. And James finally awarded the fight he's been looking for every round and isn't quite going to walk away with the kill, but walks away with a lot of damage done onto Smash. And there's a flash coming through to try push through, and Tension's holding this up close, and maybe a cheeky peek through mid would be a nice relief of the tension for them. There's actually going to be a smoke to try do the same instead, and Tension is cut off and could peek forward, decides to fall back however. Lovely nade coming out there.
Yeah, that's not fun. But Nota making a bit of noise. without a gift granted.
They've actually done a really good job here, FAVBET, at keeping them off of sight until these later rounds. You know, they've already whittled a minute off the clock. That smoke is going to cause them a lot of problems here as well, and there's no HE for them to part it. They've got flashes. They are just going to have to flash themselves through and hope not to get caught with their pants down once again. But Smash with that orb going for more.
Oh, Nota and Kick It here in really good spots to sandwich them because they have creeped through those smokes into middle. And actually, you know, without making too much noise with util, they just walked onto the side. They boosted themselves up to window. And they were so hyper-fixated on those steps in tunnels that they weren't ready for people to already be rotating through. So, again, you know, we have a great round coming through from FAVBET. But an immediate response coming through from PARIVISION. Not a single dent in their confidence.
Not even a scratch. And this has been the other issue that FAVBET have had, is that their economy hasn't been in a great place this entire game because they have been unable to put more than one round together, more than one consecutive round win together. Actually, Marek's lovely little sequence at the end there is going to be rewarded with an AK, but dare I say, too little too late. This half already lost. The best they can do is if they get 3 in a row, which I'll level with you, I'm not going to see happening just yet, even with, you know, Bondic and Jackie on ridiculous amounts of money.
Yeah. But, alright. Let's wait and see, because again, you know, double up, coming back out. FAVBET is confident. Ooh. Thought maybe he was going to continue for that fight, but no, we'll shift in towards tunnel. And oh, look at this! PARIVISION! All players gathering up on A long. It's been a while since we've seen them over there. Again, being very hyper-conscious of that smoke, which we have seen FAVBET players sort of like play around, but no one is behind it this time. Only one player up in elevator, and that player has been deleted. Tension has now rotated through, but there's util to deal with him, and players are kept at bay.
They are. That bomb goes down once again. Molotov is good, but just a second too late, and Jackie tries to tuck his head down to get out of dodge, but is not even going to be able to do that. Now smoke's coming through, they're doing their due diligence, they're hurling util at the issue just to get this round over the line, but you can tell there's a hunt. PARIVISION, they do not want to let these weapons get away, and I don't know if they're going to be willing to chase them this far down the map to do so, but these double orbs still being played, and I'm not seeing the impact out of them that I think it's worth. I mean, they haven't lost them yet, so I mean, there's no reason to give them up, but it's... PARIVISION are just storming these sites. They're waiting and waiting, and it's a James signature. It is kicker cooling, but it's sort of a James signature. Every team he seems to be on, where they wait for as long as possible, drag out the suspense, and then hit at the last second, clear everybody out on the site, and then suddenly you've got too few reinforcements too far away to do anything about it. Once that bomb goes down, retakes are almost impossible. I really like the timeout being called here because we've got 2 more rounds left in the half, and they've got to piece together something, anything.
Something that I really liked about that previous round is 2 rounds ago, where again they abused sort of middle to B, which we have seen a lot throughout this early stage of the game. FAVBET with that, in that last round, they had to focus a lot more on that mid defense. And with that, the sites are being left empty, little reinforcements, and with that it was very easy for PARIVISION to just kind of slowly get control through A long. And mind you, pretty much all 5 of them were there. There was very little map control, but even without that, they were able to just get the side almost for free on the fact of a single kill. Now they're hoping to do the same, but only this time it's on B. Yet again, there's a single player to the side they're going, and once that player has been taken out, even, you know, with a trade or not, it's going to be very tricky to stop this flow. The bomb now planted, and it's very hard to push on through.
To be honest, I'm surprised that Smash only got one there. Like, it was gearing up that the HE had parted it for long enough that he was going to go for a second lovely headshot from Belchonok to stop that happening. But you're right, the fact that they're leaving only one person defending B, especially with just the AWP as well, because that means that you can only really get one kill at a time, right? And if you're getting rushed, which often they are, none of these players are playing alone. It means that you do not have the rate of fire to deal with a push on a site that has been pushed time and time again. And Belchonok's health there scares me a little bit, but does survive the bomb blast, and we are going into the final round of the half. And it is... I think there's so much that you can pick apart here, but something I'm finding really weird is the fact that a lot of these rounds, there are so many players left alive at the end. Like, you can see there's not many deaths on a bunch of these players. There's actually just not many kills across all of the both teams, really.
I know, James died 2 times. It's so... That's a classic, isn't it?
That's 3 more than he's happy with. And ooh, that peek round the corner. Mark Speed with the ore.
Speed and light. But round hasn't been won just yet. But do have a slither of an advantage. Ooh, make it double. Belchonok, though, here fighting for mid-ground. It's been kept at bay with an incendiary for the time being. Granted, maybe not an opportunity for him to make a trade, but Nota will make numbers even. And in fact, again, with that, a side has been opened. Jane will plant. And the timer will continue to tick once more. It's the final round of the half. So FAVBET this time around, they can save.
There's a single flash to try get them through this doors. And the issue is they are being hurled with HE. Smash just has to try to find something. Marix here might be able to catch up. Belchonok actually gets James as well. So it's just one player. Final stand to be made, and they take him down. They find the bomb, and there's enough time. And it's going to be finally just eking out third round to close out the half. 9-3.
Gonna hold me down. I pack my suitcase, headed out the door. I keep my shoes laced. 2,000 miles away from home. A couple dollars in my pocket, never stopped the boy before. I load my bags and hit the road.
Welcome back, everybody. Gonna find out in this second half of this very first map if currently the streak that PARIVISION have, if that's a bit of a fluke. It's a bit of a Zonic's Law happening right here. FAVBET can actually make a return now that they are on T side. They can maybe bring out their aggressiveness, which we actually saw a bit of over on CT. They like to get cheeky around the smokes, go for opportunities, and maybe now with them being on T, they can be a bit more comfortable, but they have some making up to do, because 9-3 is not a very ideal scoreline to head into the second half with. Everyone is gathered around mid. Bit of util now that they're going to be throwing, and looks like potential here for a B split. Again, this classic CT smoke, which we've seen a lot of over in that first half. But is it going to be stopping everyone? Still some reinforcements on the way. A lot of fighting happening in Beltronic though. Maybe a bit of aimbots happening over on the side. Oh, needs to reload, which will grant an opportunity for Bondik to get another kill. But there is 3 CTs. Ooh, waiting outside of that door.
They know he has the plan. And he could get really cheeky with this, but the crossfire is well established. And it is beautifully done to secure themselves the second pistol of the game. And double digits already around that FAVBET. They really needed to secure themselves, or at the very least, a bomb plant, so they could come into the second round with something, anything on the firepower front. But that's not going to be the case. They are going to be sticking with a little bit of util. Actually, no, okay, they're going to force into this, and it's not going to be the most amazing buy in the world, but maybe catch PARIVISION off guard just a bit. James early into tunnels here. Tension. I don't know if he spotted this. And James, he's already behind enemy lines. Turns out, however, playing directly into their trap, and Smash was just waiting for somebody to push into tunnels and peek them. But it means that they know they haven't taken that space over towards B, so you can see them peel away and move back because they know they don't need to be there just yet.
PARIVISION is getting a little sneaky. Almost wanted to push middle there. But they go back actually to their original positions. They do leave middle open. But just decide to stack up 2 players B, 3 on A. They should have the better weapons, but then again, you never know what's going to happen against a force buy. So you gotta be on edge.
This is where that lack of catwalk presence and mid presence is going to start to burn them here as well, because they don't even have eyes towards mid. I have seen the jump down there from Kickert, and that is going to put a little bit of a dampen on their mood here. No smoke for it, and if he chooses to peek, this might be caught off guard. However, Jane posting up nicely. Kickert finds one, backs away without being traded, and that's perfect. That's all he needs to do. Jane, ahead of all of the utility, is just going to hold down the trigger. Good for 2, but Marix is going to find the trade here with the Galil jumping up now, but immediately headshot from Travis halts any plan he thought he had, and now just smashed on this Deagle. Spots ahead, doesn't know quite how many people are waiting. The greeting party has arrived, and it's going to be Travis to end the round. That is 11 on the board.
Yeah, Jane being so close and personal, and P9 in hand. Bit of extra catch for him as well. And slowly with that, marching towards that finish line on this first map. But still stuck on 3. Have to force another time, because time is just going to be running out. You need to make a move. But it's not getting easier as the rounds go by.
And it's not going to get any easier with James immediately, finally, being the person to break the stalemate on this AWP fight down mid. And he's hungry, he's eager for more, and nobody is going to be willing to show face just now. Nade drops at their feet. It's a tiny bit of splash damage. but they have just been shut down everywhere they've looked this round. Okay, 8 shoots part the smoke. Just have a look and see if anyone's on catwalk. I like this a lot. Isn't going to see anything. That's a lot of information. And the back of that, going to throw a smoke over towards B. Knows that there's nothing over towards A because Travis has heard nothing. There's nothing in mid because he's not seen anything. So they know they have to be headed B, or they're just hanging around on the other side of the doors waiting for this A push. And that seems less and less likely by the second. And yet more utility being thrown down.
Alright, making a run for it now.
30
Time again is... Yeah, it's got to be running out fast, and people still have to boost themselves up. They are getting missed. Pretty lucky, actually, that they managed to cross, but is it going to be enough to try and cross? Maybe not when you have Jame, when you have Kid on board. Nota Shore is burning a little bit, but 10 seconds on the clock. The pressure's on. One little quickly head style or headshot would take it all. Actually, they do manage to plant the bomb, but everyone is dead, and with that, it's going to be 12. So, economically, it's not going to be hurting PARIVISION, but for FAVBET, it's going to be rough. You need to win 9 in a row in order to get to OT.
9 in a row, and they haven't been able to get 2 consecutive rounds this series so far. So it's going to be a messy bite at the end there. You can see Jackie going for that AK, but will not be allowed any utility. Tension not allowed anywhere near the AWP. Is stuck on that scout once again. And this is not the armor you want to be trying to defend map number 1 with, albeit PARIVISION's pick, but they're going ugly early and they find a pick out long. Luckily, Nota, good for the trade there. They do manage to retreat without Jackie catching them here, although playing with fire as he jiggles that angle and maybe getting a little bit greedy. I say they're going to be able to cross without any issues. Actually, there's one in the smoke that they haven't quite realized.
Oh, Jackie! Oh my lord! He is alive and kicking. Missed because of that smoke and confusion happening. But Beltronic will fight back, finds 2 of his own. And Jame lurking around that smoke. And oh, he's in the prime position to take down Tension. Oh, and he makes noise. Jame is there. Okay, well, I thought for a second Beltronic was going to take that and steal it all away, but it's not going to happen. Jame will get the final blow, and with that, it's going to be 13-3, 10 rounds difference on this very, very first map.
Indeed. Jackie, what a final stand there. The fact that he manages to slip into the smoke unnoticed, the fact that he finds 2, it is amazing, and hopefully it was going to be an opportunity, a window of chance for them to bring that round back into some semblance of contention. But years ago, it must have been 2023, 2024 beginning maybe, and SDY... was it on HLTV? It was something to do with HLTV. SDY said that playing against James' style of Counter-Strike was like, and I quote, pulling teeth. And because and as he said, you can do everything right, but the games go on for so long that by the end you are just exhausted. And I think FAVBET, you know, a team that we've seen them around a fair bit within tier 2. We've never quite seen them in, you know, the high seed group of ECL, right? We've never quite seen them at this stage. They've definitely started to peak a little bit recently. But again, I think PARIVISION, they've just got that little bit more experience, and they're going to go for these early peaks on all sides of the map. It's actually going to be Notes having a look into main, but it's going to be a punished pick from Tension as he goes to try find some information about the goings-on over towards B. Now, Smash found a little bit of info, a little bit of a tag, but he is now a sitting duck in mid. Kicker Waiting. If he pounces at the right second, might find an easy kill, and actually back and forth the picks go, but it does lean in PARIVISION's favour with that player advantage, and Kickert not even being quiet about his approach into mid. Bondic, immediate headshot. It's Jackie with the Julie's, jumps on out, gets two. Nota this time does successfully dodge the Julie bullets, but he's running out of bullets himself. There's nowhere to retreat and reload, but now Belchonok, he knows where the last is, and it's just going to be a war of attrition out here in mid, and Belchonok is going to take it 3 for 3 on pistols, and PARIVISION, they get a running start into map number 2.
Well, it was a close one. We'll have to give them that. Very sort of like, you know, a couple of individual fights there, a couple multi-kills. Yeah, and at the end of the day, 1v1, you gotta just spam the Glock, hope for the best.
Spam the Glock and hope for the best, my new motto.
But again, FAVBET here, like we have seen in the 2 occasions over on Dust2 as well, going for a force buy even after the loss, which we often have not really seen pay off. So curious to see if now maybe there will be a bit of a change. Tension spots players over towards water.
Did he think that somebody had already crossed, or was he holding the hoping that somebody would drop down from the platform?
Ooh.
I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, not looking quite in the right direction. Bondic with the CZ, potentially long-range fight here. Belchonok taking their time just to make sure that they're not going to be pounced on from canals. Lovely timed smoke here, however. But again, lends to PARIVISION's willingness just to wait this one out. Nades come raining in. Kickert has that opportunity, runs through the smoke, spots one. The peek out, he spotted so many people, but he's out of bullets. Tension's got one, but there it is. The connect to the canals players. They jump on out. They crunch this site, and suddenly nobody is left alive.
Yet again, with that being a force, looks like they're just gonna maybe hold for some exits.
Even that's not particularly certain. Maybe Jackie a last minute pounce, but I think you just want to get out with what little weaponry that you have, because that MP9 might just be the centerpiece of your attack next round.
Yeah, especially in MP9, that could be very useful.
Again, I want to see them with a little bit more aggression. They're not going to have a whole lot to work with here. I'd love to see Jackie on that MP9 go out and make a play early, instead of just sit and hold a corner and play directly into PARIVISION's hands here. You have one weapon that has the ability to speed round corners and cause chaos. I want you to do that.
I mean, to be fair, the rest of the players not going to be heavily investing into this round, so I'm hoping that's what they're going to do. Maybe stack a site, maybe rush something. They do have a double nade. Wondering where that's going to go. So far, not a whole lot of noise made, just kind of sitting on A with the majority. Now a counter nade. Oh, half HP down on tension. As slowly PARIVISION get more and more control across this map into middle. Oh, it's smelling like a split.
They are going to be pushing on to a heavily stacked site here. Smashed. An opening pick here might not be amazing. It'll go 1 for 1, but it would be the firepower they need. Spams away, no kill, but a bit of damage. And Kickert's holding for anybody dropping mid. And even though it's a stacked site, they choose to push on forward. Getting ready to throw this util, I think. No, actually, just backing off. Okay. The call to rotate here I like. I think they know that there's not going to be much weaponry here. So if you found one, if you found a couple of them, that's likely to be where the stack is going to be, assuming that they stacked. A correct assumption, but of course we have the minimap and X-ray and all of that wonderful stuff. And now to go through mid. This would be such a power play to go through mid and then hit A again. I think they might.
I think they do. Oh, alright, that's a nice nade. We'll chip them down, and maybe that's gonna be enough for that MP9 to take more damage. Oh, well, I mean, to keep them at bay, keep them at
30
this
seconds,
10
they can't get to a
sec.
side.
They can't. They've actually managed to do it. This is so awkward. Everyone is just running around. Wait, 4 seconds? Maybe, just maybe. Oh no! Oh, that is literally a millisecond too late. Oh, that's rough.
That is the problem with playing with fire, is 9 times out of 10 you will get burnt, and PARIVISION, they just leave it too long. And whilst I said that it was a power play to go back through A, I think if you know that's where the gamble is, it's not the right move. Sometimes the safer option, sometimes the easier option is the best. But yeah, they get too caught up in the fight for mid and too set on hitting A last minute that when they realize there's just too much resistance, there isn't a backup plan. You are overcommitted. There is no retreat. So all of that, and FAVBET, they win a round. I don't want to be really harsh and say not entirely off their own volition and merit. A lot of that being a little bit of a faux pas and fumble from PARIVISION.
Yeah.
But they do get around on the board, and early this time. They need to be able to spiral this. I think we're heading into a tech pause here. So clearly something's gone wrong somewhere along the lines.
Yeah, it smells like it.
It's CS2 moment, isn't it?
Oh yeah, always. But yeah, that last one was just very rough. I honestly think that they retreated from the site, not knowing that there was that little time left, and then they kind of were already walking. It was like, well, we have to go now. There's no way we're gonna go back inside, knowing that all the players are there. So
Never back down. Never what?
very true. Well, yeah, I understand that. You know, they had to make a run for it and hope for the best, but it's rough because that was just a very messy round, and we haven't really seen them being shaken up like that before in this best of 3 so far.
No, that we have not. So I am curious to see what is going to happen off the back of this. I think PARIVISION, very much a conversation needed to be had about how to stop the same issue occurring twice. Alas, they don't have too much of an issue here. There'll be a couple of pieces of utility missing on the likes of Kickit and Jame here. But compared to the buy that they're going up against, it's not going to matter too much. I think this is very evenly matched. I think the bigger worry for me at the moment, I think it might change potentially when everyone gets back in the server and buys up fully, is there's not many kits available to FAVBET, and that is going to be something very much that they need. That has been their Achilles heel, is once that bomb goes down, they've not really had the opportunity to attempt any proper retakes. So you have the kits available. It means that when PARIVISION get that bomb down, which most of the time they do, it means that you have at least a bit more leniency on going for the retakes. You don't just have to peel away immediately and save.
Seems like FAVBET still has issues with their 5th player connecting. Because we still have Morix 2 times in the HUD, which is not really a good sign.
No, it is not at the moment. Although, 2 Mag 10s and a full pelt of utility, you wouldn't be complaining about that as a buy.
Very true.
He gets to play as 2 people, and it's exactly the same movement, you know?
Oh, that's...
I would love to see a game of Counter-Strike like that, where you control 2 people at the same time, but on, like, they have different spawns. So that means that whenever you press W and move forward, both of them do, but one of them's going to hit different walls first. I would love to see that. But I think we might be heading to a little bit of a short break here, just to make sure that we can fix any issues. And then we can make sure that we get the game back underway and ready and put on the best show possible for you guys.
I pack my suitcase, headed out the door. I keep my shoes laced. 2,000 miles away from home. A couple dollars in my pocket, never stopped the boy before. I load my bags and hit the road.
Miles past, turning back, found my track, face the fact she a cold one. Never gonna settle for none. Stay up every night till I won. Don't want a slow rise now. I'm confident opulence isn't a long ride out. When I look back now, I'm astounded. A quiet boy from old age, but always thought the world was a stage, yeah. I celebrate one last late night, my old life ain't staying.
I pack my suitcase, headed out the door. I keep my shoes laced. 2,000 miles away from home. A couple dollars in my pocket, never stopped the boy before. I load my bags and hit the road.
I'm headed to LA.
Couple thousand miles, throw it on the dash. Shit, the 10,000 hours, can't let them pass. Yeah, well, I was putting time in, you was pulled up wildin'. You always had shit to say, now when I see you, it's silence. Thought I'd have a Grammy by 25. Commas after commas next to dollar sign, yeah. To remind myself why I'm living this life. Look at all the late nights, it'll all come in due time, yeah.
Made for the fight, for the pain and the climb. Tied to the life I chose.
Alright, issues have been fixed. Everyone is back in the server, ready to kick off round number 4. PARIVISION up with a small lead, and gonna wait and see how they deal with that little bit of a fumble of a round that we had just talked about. Bit of maybe a dent in the ego, because we have sort of seen very little slip-ups of PARIVISION. But now we have seen them recover. Oh, wow, talking about slip-ups. That was not, I think, where that was supposed to land.
No, I couldn't agree more here. Tension with the orb as well. I'm hoping this is going to be the heavy hitter that they require. Was so snappy on it. Now Smashed is accounting for this, is waiting. And the frag is going to give away his location here. Now, a lot of damage. I say a lot of damage onto Belchonok, but it isn't really. It's none at all. Now they get themselves round the corner. Now, exchange of utility, the Molotov to keep them at bay, and not going to call any rotates over just yet, and probably a good thing. PARIVISION's accounting for this. Smashed, waiting, doesn't expect Belchonok to run through the smoke. The disrespect is unreal, and now Jackie needs to find something to hold them off whilst the rotates come over. But the thing is, this is all a fake. They're pulling Marix over just for PARIVISION to go and hit B instead. And Tension, nobody's even watching for him. Manages to get a second, and that's way more than he should have been allowed. Belchonok moves over quickly, but might not even be needed, because now with Marix gone down, it's just Jackie left. And they knew that he was over on A.
Oh yeah, this is just again so rough. It had a round just spiral out of control, and it's instantly pretty much secured right as soon as that bomb gets planted. Jackie even being a bit aware that he might get flanked. Not gonna be the case. At the end of the day, there's not a whole lot of money build up on the side of PARIVISION, so maybe not quite going for the hunt. They can actually save that orb. So everyone's happy with what they've got. Little AK upgrade, everyone their favorite weapon. And another round added to their list. Again, pretty solid recovery as soon as they lose a round, which seems to be a bit of a trend.
It does. FAVBET have not been able to put together 2 rounds, one after the other, this entire series just yet. And that is another opportunity that has unfortunately slipped through their fingers. And this does mean that their economy has been in shambles for the most part. Now, there's a couple of these players that are going to be on, this higher amount. Marix will be able to help out with the financing of that orb potentially. Does look like he wants to go for that peak, but the smoke in his face is going to be all of the warning signs that he needs just to reconsider his actions. Now, James going to be pushed. Bolchonok here, however, ahead of it and just holds down the trigger, but it's actually Jackie getting a team kill there amidst the chaos. All of the spray, all of the bullets, and he takes his teammate down instead.
I mean, already bomb looks to head towards A. Seems to be the right guess. But what is the response going to be? DCT still hiding, playing together. Oh, that's a sound cue. And with that information obtained, James gets the shot. And now PARIVISION maybe just want to play it safe, group up, make sure you're not going to be handing over any of these weapons. Or at least if you do, be close to your teammates so there's opportunities for trades, not all the way across the map.
Yeah, this is a difficult one, and I don't think they're even going to look at exit kills here. Yeah, they've got the money on a couple of these players, but the likes of, Tension might have that orb dropped over by Marix potentially. But for the most part, it's going to be these two saved weapons and then scrounging together around them. PARIVISION, they survive with 5 left alive once more. Yeah, this is a rough one. This is a repeat of what we saw over on Dust2, almost beat for beat here. And again, it's a matter of not many of these players have lots of kills either. Bolchonok hasn't died yet. Bondik hasn't got a kill yet. It's a lot of people just sort of being allowed to live and let live. And PARIVISION a 4th round, again starting a little bit of this momentum and finding themselves an early lead. Yes, on the favourable side, this is not their map pick, so they got to choose how they started, but every round they can get on the board now makes their CT side even easier.
Again, in these early rounds, not a whole lot of action happening on the side of PARIVISION. Bit of user left and right, trying to see what the response is out of FAVBET. Kikado has been applying quite a bit of pressure up on the mid doors, or at least showing a bit of presence around for a number of occasions, but no one's home to deal with him.
Nobody is home indeed. Now, a lot of util being thrown out is making those A players very uncomfy, and actually, we've seen it time and time again. Bolchonok has done a great job at just capturing this attention, having them tunnel vision on just him, whilst the rest of the players, they sneak around and they constrict around the other side. And now, actually, they do have Travis kind of pinned in here, but now attention divided as all of the util and chaos rains down, and it is a sprint over from the FAVBET players. And they aren't going to get here just in time. The flash is good, but no kills off the back of it. Bolchonok with the burst and no to get some more, and they're all just doubling down on these kills. And yes, the reinforcements arrived, but they are too scared to even step foot on this site. Already, the map is lost. And they just have to run and save this orb at M4. James giving them a masterclass in James time for themselves.
Yeah, oh, well, maybe not quite. Smash will get a kill. Ultimately, his position has been revealed. Oh, well, Intention actually work off of that one. Now, at the end of the day, there is cash in the banks for PARIVISION. I think they just want to get these weapons away, especially that AWP, to get themselves a bit of an advantage going into the next round, make that lead even bigger. Alright. They will kill Smash. Not quite take away the AWP, but at least it is further economic damage. As PARIVISION slowly widen that gap. And again, the lack of deaths, especially on the side of PARIVISION, is starting to worry me a little bit.
That is all good, because I am worried as well. And to be honest, PARIVISION, they're just storming away with this. Lovely nade comes out, and look at Marix hobbling off. Travis, he is hoping to try find something here. It's just scaring them back onto site, not even allowing them any information as to what's going on in B main. And actually, that has been part of PARIVISION's success, has been the control of information and the lack thereof for FAVBET. They've not really been able to adjust where they're playing. The fakes have been sold, and they've been sold well. Bondik is going to hear the footsteps of Noto. He's going to send out a smoke in response. Just bunkered down here, but the rest of the team gearing up, moving over. And again, Belchonok keeping this attention over towards A.
Players, I'll get her up in water. Oh, but again, can't get ahead of the situation. R4's back. He can now Dust2. There's a trade. But Jackie also will grab one of his own. It's a bit of back and forth action. Beltronic now with a double, grabbing a small advantage in favor of PARIVISION. But tension has rotated through already. Ooh, that, I think those footsteps certainly are going to be heard. And he is pretty much by himself. His teammate still very far out, rotating the long way around with only a pistol. And James is looking to account for it. And he will tension, his teammate will fall. And, oh, Smash is going to get hunted down. He only had a pistol to start with, and even that, he is not allowed to take home.
Yeah, absolutely. Needed to activate over towards main just a little bit sooner. Maybe try find that kill, catch off guard with the utility out, maybe just to allow his teammate on site any room to move. Just a lapse in attention, adjusting where they're looking off the back of maybe that pistol kill. But it's not meant to be, and suddenly another round for PARIVISION. 5 rounds up, and this feels very familiar. Deja vu, anybody?
Well, I mean, if we end up with a 3-9 half, then I absolutely will be having a deja vu.
But honestly, I'm loving what I'm seeing coming out of PARIVISION here. They have just been on their game. Belchonok on the other side of the map, not only selling these fakes, but just holding his own on the frags as well. Being able to find those opening picks and punishing, being able then to rotate, peel away, and catch some of those rotations over towards the site. Not that the retake has been particularly attempted very much, but just being there in case to scare them off has done so much for them. And FAVBET, unfortunately, they've not quite been able to catch the reads. Bondik maybe goes for a little bit of a peek. Actually, maybe to his advantage that he doesn't, because James now holding this with the AWP. The push up on mid from tension as well, just to give themselves a bit more space and a bit more padding around the map, but immediately giving up this space already. Smoke comes out, it's going to stop Belchonok, and his usual shenanigans, and actually gives the A players some respite.
Most players here, PARIVISION gathered up towards A. Ooh! Spicy shot from Jackie. Beltronic has been doing quite a bit of damage. Has been taken out of the running though. At the flip side, Jackie now taken out, and Smash as well. pretty low, so they have to be careful not to overstep. Ooh. Molly did miss him. But again, he is in a bit of a tricky situation all by himself up on that A-bomb site. And meanwhile, Nota is by himself clearing out B because why not?
Yeah, I don't think they expected Nota to be anywhere as close to them as they expected, right under their noses the whole time, but they didn't suspect a thing. And now, this is some very messy map control and movements going on here. James holding for mid, missed shot, but it's going to get smashed right back. They head over towards A, where actually Travis is lurking towards main. And these FAVBET players, they are trying to find any small pocket of safety to save these weapons in, because that's all they can really afford to do. And slowly but surely working his way around, I don't think Travis is quite going to be able to catch them on the escape here. So live to die another day to FAVBET.
One to 7. It's looking very, very dire at the moment. Kills are pretty much raining for PARIVISION. Everyone going positive. No, that's a lie. Kick it's technically not, but gotta maybe cut him some slack, considering that he is calling the shots here. And so far, the shots are definitely working really well for PARIVISION.
They have been indeed. Slow and steady wins the FAVBET race. And James once again gearing up for this mid-fight. He doesn't want to be the one to show face, but he's just holding and waiting for the push. Again, now, no real mid-control for either of these teams. You can see Tension having a bit of a look, very worried, and Belchonok, the man, the myth, the legend, still over towards A, causing havoc as his team slowly march forward, taking more and more map control. This time, however, FAVBET, I like this from them. They're really gearing up. They've not been sat waiting in connector, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how far back you sit. They are still coming for you, and it's one of those things you don't know what's coming until it hits you, and it smacks you across the face now for 8 rounds in a row.
Oh, that's noise. Huh. So they hear people drop down in water.
Yeah.
And alright, they went to check A, nothing happening. Now they're gonna make a run for B, but their teammate over towards that B bomb site has died. Though again, bomb's still yet to be planted. 10 seconds on the clock, but seems like they are dealing with that nicely. Things do seem a bit weird here, with FAVBET being a bit indecisive. They... Like, you are already 2 players down, so as soon as you heard their water drop, I personally would have sent the 2 remaining mid players over towards B as well to group up, give your best shot. Otherwise, it's most likely going to be safe anyways. But they kind of hesitated. They were like, okay, well, there's 30 seconds. Maybe it's going to be A, maybe it's going to be B. Let's check out A, and then it's going to be B. And then even those 2 remaining players went in one by one. So, bit awkward.
I need the stats on how many nade kills Belchonok has, and almost another nade kill added to the tally there. Jackie hobbling. Bondic has managed to stop James getting onto site, but again, this time it's somebody else selling the fake as they head over towards A, but the deep smoke is going to be disrespected, and actually maybe Smash not expecting it because he's backed away, utility being passed between them. These players already so much closer up. Smash going to peek this corner and in for an unpleasant surprise. Deals with the first. Actually, they gear up for a second. There is a trade coming through, and Belchonok trying to find the right moment to throw this Molotov. Unfortunately, a teammate of his dies in the meantime, but they've got themselves onto site. Barrage of utility. They're trying just to take a bit more space outside before going for this bomb plant, giving them a little bit of a buffer. But there it is. Bomb goes down. But there's not pretty much for them to defend this with. There's a Molotov. And Travis waiting, trying to find something. Bondic has utility out, but isn't even going to be punished. But Travis with 2 needs to clutch up, and they both know where the other is. He gets another and clutches it. He saves the round streak, and he is on for a 9th round here. And FAVBET, even when it's looking good, they finally get a decent shot at a retake, and it's single-handedly Travis to get it done. They know where he is, and it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, the individuals that are stepping up on the side of PARIVISION, it is scary. And, well, FAVBET here, not really sure what to do. They are going to be having a minimal investment. So, on pistols. There is a rifle, but also lovely Swag 7 in the mix. It's currently waiting up for water, but already
it's the way to my heart. The Mag 7.
Ooh, that's a lovely
nice
kill.
pick there. Is managing to scoop up the AK as well and backs off. And Bondic, oh come on, please. Please let us see this.
We've got to wait and see if someone is going to be coming through.
FAVBET need this. They need the Mag 7 kill for the money and for the mental, I think. They deserve it at this point. Go on, Nota. There's a flash and a Molotov, so I think they're probably just going to molly him out of position here. Would be what we're expecting to happen. But they're waiting again. We talked about this. Patience. Actually, going to be peeking this dry here. Bondic gets a tag off with it, but not quite looking in the right direction. And Nota pushes forward, finds a second. And suddenly the defense crumbles. Jackie had been so good with finding that opener, but alas, no more. And the rest of the team already too far removed. Smash just running for the hills, and Tension hasn't got anything worth saving. And now we sit and wait out this bomb timer. But even then, they're sending Beltronic, hunting for this final weapon. They've just about missed each other, however. Here you go. This is what we're used to. This is the stuff that the copy pastas are made of.
Exactly. Lovely James time. Even though James himself is alive.
They've not had to save. I don't think they've saved at all this series. Because the only rounds they've lost have been after the bomb has gone down, pretty much. Or that one round that FAVBET won earlier on, that 3rd round, where little bit of a faux pas, oopsie doopsie, they mistimed it and weren't able to get the bomb down.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's about it. You know, they still got the money. Plus, they run the 2 rounds prior, so there already was a bit of economy for them. So they could have kept on buying. They recovered as if it's just a little speed bump in the road, and now on the way to double digits. Already a better scoreline done on the previous map, which was their own map pick. And then they're looking to potentially steal away FAVBETs as well. So far, no one spotted, they think. But there's 2 players hiding very, very deep towards B. Only question is PARIVISION going to capitalize on this? Do they know that they were getting pushed as well? Oh, well, that's a warning sign. Nate throwing about.
What are the util? They're still trying to take the space over towards mid, and Nota not exactly being able to get too far there, but the utility really just holding off FAVBET from taking that space. Jackie is trying to push up and get a little bit assertive with this. Kickert not willing to give him the fight he's yearning for. And now all of the players, they're getting a little bit claustrophobic as the map closes in around them, and Kickert, that's the pick in mid. And Smash not even able to trade off of the back of it, and is going to even call Bondic over to help.
Time is running low again, which is what we're used to with PARIVISION. But Can they make it a clean final round? A bit of back and forth action, hoping to get the bomb down, which is not easily granted. Bondic still alive and kicking on the side, and now it is our hero Jane, but this time he can't quite clutch it. It will be a 10-2 half.
Another day, not a dime, race against time. I couldn't just lay by and wonder what I could have made mine. I'm closing on the moment, no one's gonna hold me down.
I pack my suitcase, headed out the door. I keep my shoes laced. 2,000 miles away from home. A couple dollars in my pocket, never stopped the boy before. I load my bags and hit the road.
Headed on my way, I'm headed on my way to headed on my way. They told me go to what you love. I never knew what that was, but even when I make time, I think of all I've given up. I wish it wouldn't be so hard, 'cause you're the one that gets slighted. You say I don't make time for anyone, and you ask my mind is occupied. It's hard to vent, I understand. Have you ever lost someone, but known that there was more? I don't wanna be tied, hanging by your side. I don't wanna be tied, tethered to my pride. Hate to waste your time. Go and live your life.
Hello and welcome back, wonderful people and Counter-Strike aficionados. We are here 10-2 at the half. PARIVISION took map 1 and they are gearing up to try and make this a swift series, a quick 2-0, but a pistol round FAVBET direly needs here. They've got a little bit of utility and hopefully they've got a whole lot of hope.
A little bit of tension building. Nade flying about. But FAVBET maybe want to give the cookie right back to PARIVISION, playing it slow.
They are playing it very slow here, and the gamble stack over towards B. They do have Kicker as that early warning. The Canary, and if he goes down, they're sure to know where they are, and hopefully can even find one. Maybe a little bit of missed utility there, potentially, maybe not. Eric's trying to find one, but immediately everyone, they didn't expect Jane with a bullet to the back of the head, and now Travis, tension. You don't even think there's an escape route, and Travis, unfortunately, it's a little bit messy, but it's a lot of damage and information. They chase tension over towards that site, and they will not let that bomb even step foot in the planting zone. Tension has found one and a second, mind you, but the health is so low and they need to deal with Kicker. The bomb is going to go down. But there's a kit on Kicker here as well, and they're not expecting Belchonok. There is the kit still going, and Bondic has the right angle for this, and there's no utility to deal with it, but they're going to send Belchonok.
Oh, he's not ready for a
Oh, they're
kit.
just going to stick it. Yeah.
Oh, that's rough.
That is rough.
Yeah, he's like, why did I do that? Yeah, that's painful.
See?
Again, very like it's close. Like these pistol rounds have been pretty close, but PARIVISION just had this little bit of an edge. The kid as well really has been a savior. We'll have to give credit though to Tension, because I thought the round was lost, but then it wasn't.
I was going to say it's good that they've got the bomb down so they can buy it. They were going to buy anyway. At no point have they not forced into the second round of the half, right? They've not forced after the pistol. They've lost all of the pistols now. But now they've got a little bit more utility, this time actually favouring to go with the Tech 9s instead of forcing those Mac 10s and Galils. And stacking up on the util. I'm not 100% sure what they want to do with this. PARIVISION, despite the round win, looking very low in the grenades front. Looking just to take the fights head on, uncharacteristic from them, and they've already swarmed water, and there's a little bit of damage off, and they're hoping that Tension can find the pick, and Kicker does get one, and now they're all kind of penned into connect here, and the smoke to try get Nota out safely does indeed succeed. More damage and actually chipping away here, but PARIVISION, they back up. I like that they're sending Jame on over. Maybe worried that Belchonok hasn't heard anything just yet. And actually, the whole team seems to be vacating the B site. And that's a little bit scary. Hopefully, Travis can find the kill and alert the team. But it's going to be too late. And a retake is going to be needed here, I think.
I mean, they got M4s on board. Nade might do a bit of damage. Maybe even scare them off a bit. Cause a bit of a delay. Oh, Belchonok spotted a knee. That is information obtained, but Tension is alive and kicking again, doing a lot of work for FAVBET. Now player advantage, and looks like they are going to be running off. Not worth going for. And FAVBET actually strike back with a very much needed round up on the board.
Majorly so, and this is the most damning round that they could have won. Losing that conversion round to CT is going to stunt your economy majorly. And so FAVBET, they have bought themselves a very, very small lifeline in a very, very vast ocean. And even then, the fact that only one person survives is not going to be particularly comfortable for them. But PARIVISION, a lot of damage off the back of a round that was lost pretty early on. And hopefully, you know, this round they have to kind of just sit out. There's really not anything to go for here. I say that, no, they're going to force it as well.
They are excited. They want to grab 12 and make things even more rough for FAVBET. Because honestly, if they were to win here, no survivors on the side of FAVBET, they're going to run into next round pretty much empty-handed. So, for them to get it over the finish line fast, I can see why they're doing this, but they're really going into this full confidence. Bit of a tag left and right. Already early on, putting a lot of pressure on this squad.
Yeah, that we do. Jackie, they've just given so much space in mid. Kicker is allowing them just to take so much control here. And actually, just completely vacating it. Now, the lack of information is going to be maybe a bit stifling. Chonok over on A, the demon himself over on T side, causing them hassle, and actually now he himself is vacating so that he can go have a look mid where they've left Jackie lying in wait, and actually might be able to get the drop on him. It depends. Actually, the timing, any peek at any point there would have gone Jackie's way, but this time just the snake in the grass, choosing not to bite until the optimal moment. And they are actually going to be able to pincer Bolshonok over on A, but they're retreating. Nope, there we go. They pull back just to push forward.
Oh, not granted a kill, just a bit of more chip damage, which will make this pretty much a done deal. I guess just relying on Belchonic there to do a bit of work. If he can stand his ground, if he's still alive, they can rotate over and help. But if not a kill is coming through, the rest just has to save.
Yeah, and the difficulty that they're going to have here is FAVBET find this round. There's not really going to be much money. There's not much equipment for the next as well. They've got 4 alive with not great weaponry. And it's not going to be great money either. So the next round is going to be slippery. They're going to have this really awkward, messy force buy kind of. And then even after the round after that, it's going to be, again, money is not looking like it's going to be in an awesome spot for them, which does give FAVBET the ability to make a little bit of a deeper cut here. Put some rounds together. They've already beaten their record last map.
Very true. Though meanwhile, over at halftime break, I wouldn't have said that. But there's still a lot of making up to do. But, each round, gotta try again and again. Hopefully they can get a bit closer.
In before a third map.
True, you still gotta survive that too.
Touche. Smash, looking to head forward. Molotov for the pillar is going to alert them of his presence, and they're actually going to push out. They go 1 for 1 here. I don't think they're expecting Bondik up as close as he is, and the fact that, almost gets away with it here as well, but they just keep peeking out. This is really cheeky here. The fact that Travers doesn't die sooner is quite surprising, honestly. There's not really much more to be found in this, I don't think. The weaponry's not great, and not really able to pick up much more. There's the MP9 finally in the hands of Belchonok, but he's going to be met by Bondik, who is still waiting for them, waiting for the aggress behind, and taken down now. Just kick it with the not P250, so the 5.7. Not exactly the ideal weapon for the situation. Marek's holding for it. But yes, finally the economic struggles, the economic hardship has been broken through, and a buy will be awarded to PARIVISION. And we know how this has gone in the past. FAVBET, they're finally going to be challenged here on their T side. This is going to be our first proper all-out gunfight of the half.
Yeah, pretty insane to say. We are definitely a couple rounds in. No AWP though, but at the same time, rifles against rifles, pretty even on the board. What is the approach going to be? PARIVISION, I mean, earlier on it seemed like they wanted to get quite aggressive with their CT side, picking up information over towards B, for example. This time everyone's sort of sitting on site, just waiting. No one actively holding mid either.
Sitting there, menacingly. But yeah, it's a lot of early utility. They've drawn out pretty much everything that PARIVISION had in the bank here. Again, they're just being allowed mid, free reign. And I think maybe there's something that needs to happen here, because PARIVISION had just been almost allergic to it. James, I want to look at his teammates to have a discussion. The Molotov actually not quite going to go deep enough, and maybe they're not expecting James still lurking in there, but Bondik is going to be backing off. And now Kicker really needs to be the hero in mid. Oh no, Jackie, he can hear Nota. Got the kill needed. and now can just push even further. Travis hoping that he's gonna walk into them blind, and it is indeed. James steps up, finds one immediate trade here. 1-for-1 go the kills, and Travis ahead of the flashbang. Can't quite see the angle on the planter. And Marix has found the kill here as well. They need to step up, but the Molotov forces kick it. Beltronic's found one, and Tension's got another. It's round the corner, but Smash just about gets it. And FAVBET, they are clinging on for dear life.
These rounds are tense and very, very competitive. Again, ending up with 1v1 battles. And keep in mind, FAVBET managed to plant that bomb within the last 10 seconds of the round again, so it's not coming easy. But they do indeed hang on. Again, sending PARIVISION to a very rough buy. Some pistols, MP9s, but that's about it. So far from ideal, and FAVBET can creep closer.
Yeah, they can creep closer and closer. They've invested a fair bit into this. If they can find an opener and spiral this and Smash. Ooh, it's close. Just tickling his back, but no bullet's going to be connecting. Nota, deep smoke to try stop Bondic even looking into connector. No sneak peeks here.
Oh, Purdy knows her alive. Kick it holding, or trying to hang on. Oh, Travis is running out of bullets. That is rough. Could have maybe been another one, but not quite. So far pretty empty-handed. Only Beltronoc, who is going to be showing skin, but not for a whole lot longer. Smash deals with that one pretty easily. And now FAVBET on to 7.
On to 7. Far more than we expected them to get when they lost that CT, when they lost that T-side pistol, sorry. Now Tension has the orb in his hands, and we've seen what he is like with it. James has one of his own, and it's really going to need to be him stepping up and being a difference maker here as well, because it seems like all of this momentum has halted. We talked about how crisp they were looking mechanically. Started to slip a little bit, and FAVBET, they've really been rounding these corners, dotting the I's and crossing the T's a bit. Tension waiting for this connector push, knowing that Nota's been a little bit of a menace for it, but actually just going to sit back on his hands on this one. Beltronoc, I don't know if he heard the drop down there. Nota having a little bit of a look. No, somebody's close, given the Molotov. Marix just waiting for this smoke, and once it fades, everyone's going to need to be hiding behind cover. Nota, the smoke coming on out, has to now be wary of anybody coming from main. Bondic's managed to take the space, however. Not much more to be found. Marix with a kill, and now Travis being pushed and pressured by all of this utility. His teammates not rotating over. He is having to do this alone. Beltronoc really needs to find his pick, and unfortunately just look in the wrong direction. Jane spots the shadows, gets the kill, but it's nothing but a consolation prize because Travis is still under so much pressure and trouble. Finds the first, not able to get the second, but has bought a little bit of time for the rotates to come over. But unfortunately, that bomb not going to be planted anywhere near a nice position. James taking the long and scenic route round, and disadvantage with Kickert going down. James is just going to have to save this weapon.
Yeah, well, now we are finally in actual James territory. Him having to save an orb by himself. But yeah, things are actually not looking so bright here for PARIVISION. They keep losing their opening duel, and find it very, very tough to recover into the round. They often, kind of similar what happened to FAVBET over on Dust2, but they keep getting run into the site where there's only a single CT player. And from that moment on, you kind of, you're already a player down, you lose a second player, and then from there out, if the remaining squad is over on the other side, it's going to be real tough to try and retake that.
Yeah,
and money is running low as well.
I'd like to just record myself. When I said in before 3 maps, I was joking, by the way, PARIVISION. That wasn't a challenge, that wasn't a threat. But no, FAVBET, they are starting to make this very competitive. That gap is closing, and at what point do we say comeback? I think maybe it's getting about time. And now early utility is going to hold them off here, and I'm a little bit worried Travis is going to be either penned in and trapped. Bondic pushing up to try take this space, and they're going to crunch down on B hard. Luckily, clearing so much space through mid, Kicker might be able to get this lovely pick. He jumps down, and it's the hero play they need. And actually, it's even scared away Smash from that fight with Bondic over towards A, and they've just managed to cling on this round. The Util's coming over, but they cannot get past this choke point. Marix with the flash, but now no teammate to peek off the back of it. And piece by piece, this attack, this offensive is pushed and pulled apart. Now Smash needs to find this pick, does on Travis, and suddenly this round gets a little bit scary. They've managed to get them nervous. Belchonok still kicking back sight. They've managed to get one person through the choke point, but Tension still so nervous to move, and Marix has to find both of these picks here, but Kickert catches him in the crossfire, and now Tension looks but Jane better with the AWP, quicker with the AWP, and finally they're kicking themselves that it took them this long. Map point, series point at last.
That was tough. And I honestly thought, like, it felt still a bit panicky for me from PARIVISION. I saw people really hyperfixated on their B site with very little information if they were truly going to commit, if they were going to retreat or not. Like, technically on paper, FAVBET could have just walked back, or like thrown a smoke or something, walked back, go the other side, and it would have been empty. So, I think in this case, PARIVISION, they maybe can call themselves a bit lucky with how that one panned out, because it was maybe not the cleanest Counter-Strike, but
no,
they have got themselves over the line. Now they have got a couple chances to close it out. But you can definitely see that the pressure is slowly getting to them.
Yeah, it has been climbing, but so much util damage, and that's something that we saw Belchonok. I'd love to see the stats on his utility damage this series, going for a bit more. They're lining up through the smoke, and actually they just cross, they kiss in the smoke, and he gets both of them as well, the multi-kill. He switches AKs so he doesn't have to reload, and he can just keep shooting. Bondic, however, on the other side, has found a pick. And that bomb is going to be rotating up through mid. We talked about how mid a little bit weaker, but now Travis, he had a look. He's gone now. And he's called it clear just for Belchonok to take up the slack. And now Jackie needs to find these kills. And unfortunately, Belchonok, he dodges the bullets. He ducks and weaves like Neo from the Matrix. And now 2 players left, and Bondic's health, it's not great. And everything lining up. Travis, he's waiting for this tension. He's going to have to find this shot. He spots the elbow, baits out the shot, but Travis isn't actually going to peek off the back of it. He's content just to sit and wait. And then Belchonok, as he's trying to catch the rotates, get caught himself. But the thing is, it's 10 seconds to plant, and they've been stuck. They've been caught by Jame, and that's all they needed to do, because that bomb cannot reach site in time to be planted. And it is time that is their undoing in this series. PARIVISION, they take this 13-8.
Oh, what a roller coaster this second half. Whereas the very first half, as well as Dust2, was very one-sided. Things definitely had a bit of a